Thanks for listening to Two Girls, One Plant.
We're your hosts, Madison
and Jillian, and this week we're talking about The Green Witch Part 2.
Yay! We're back!
With the Green Witch, Ella!
She's back!
Yay! Oh my god. Back to hitting the mic. Back to hitting the mic. Hi, how are you guys?
Hi, welcome. We're so glad to have you back here on Two Girls, One Plant podcast. It's been since, January we recorded our first episode? Or no, when was that?
December.
Was it really?
December.
That feels like another lifetime.
2019.
Yeah.
The good times.
The good times.
The good times. 2019, we miss you.
That's so sad.
Oh my gosh.
No kidding.
Right? That's so weird to think about. That really does feel like a lifetime ago.
It does, but you guys are here, like you're actually in my house.
We're
actually recording together.
Jillian's house, you guys.
Yeah.
That is such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Rona could not keep us apart anymore.
Nope, enough was enough.
Enough was enough. Yeah, we decided to come over and record, and we felt like it was a time where, things were safe.
Yeah, a lot of restrictions are being lifted.
Yeah.
And we're still staying in small groups,
Totally.
staying safe.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we were just, we're like, you know what? Let's see each other, and I've missed her a lot, and
Yeah.
so it's been good. We've been catching up for a little bit, so we're excited to record today, and obviously we're excited to have Ella on. It's our second episode for Pride Month.
Woo-woo.
Hell yeah, Pride. We really hope you listened to our coming out episode. It was very powerful for both of us, and obviously we recorded that on the Saturday of the first weekend of the protests. So that was like a very ominous night for us. It's Wednesday that we're recording this, and we still want to acknowledge what is happening, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The protests haven't stopped. We still have demands that are waiting to be met. Black Lives Matter still have demands that are waiting to be met. So we did hear, I think, hopefully, that the other 3 officers were just arrested.
Yeah, it just happened within the last hours.
So we'll see how that goes, and we still haven't even had a chance to really look into it yet, but hopefully it's a step in the right direction.
Totally.
And I think you're headed to a protest later today,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm going to Denver downtown today with a couple of friends who do identify, so I have a friend at work who is biracial, but he does identify with being black. And he asked me yesterday if I could go with him in support with him, and I just could not say no.
Yeah,
it was just the way he approached me about it was very just tender. So I just felt like I needed to go be with him during that time. So it's peaceful. It's just loving. It's supportive. I am a shield. I am there to listen. I am there to protect others, and that's really what it's just going to be about today. So I'm excited. Hopefully it cools down a little bit. It's so hot outside. It's so hot outside right now. But yeah. How's work?
Great.
How are things?
Work is good. Today is actually my day off, which I was able to record and catch up around the house. So unfortunately they're here and it's kind of a mess, but I've been able to do laundry and have a new humidifier for the plants, and I'm just kind of taking care of stuff here. And then still trying to stay really active online. So, for Blackout Tuesday, Colorado Plant Pals didn't approve any posts for 24 hours and tried to take some time to, reflect and take action on a greater level, following Black voices and hearing them and supporting them. So that was really great. We had a ton of support, which is good. I've seen a lot of other plant groups that have kind of either shied away from the issue or over-policed it in really kind of awkward ways. So we're definitely trying to stand with, the greater Colorado plant community and the Black community within that, which is really represented in plants usually. So, trying to stay really active there. There are lots of links that you can go to support, to donate money, either to greater causes like Black Lives Matter or showing up for racial justice, or your bail funds in your local area for people that are going out to protest, like Madison, that are there to be bodies and be shields and, face officers. So they definitely need your support. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's been, kind of a crazy week.
It has been, but we have the privilege of seeing that and doing something about it.
Yep.
And that's a privilege that we have.
Yeah, making that choice.
Yep, because Black people do not have a choice to be Black.
Nope. So definitely very grateful for that privilege and grateful for this platform to hopefully encourage all of you to also make donations and take action in your communities as well. Mm-hmm. And I know it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it is. But we wanted to, we've been planning Pride and Pride Month for the last several months. Like I'm just like, I'm like so ready. Like I love Pride Month, and yes, it is different and the tone is different now. That, we can't celebrate until our Black brothers and sisters can celebrate. So I think that's something important to recognize, but it's still okay to validate your identity. And if this is a time where you were like wanting to come out to your family, it's still okay to come out to your family. Like that does not invalidate you like at all as a person, even during these dark times. It's still okay to do that. You're not bad for wanting to do that. So still come out if you feel like you need to come out. And we were also planning having Ella here today anyway, and we've been dying to do a part 2 with her, because if you listen to the episode we did, it was like an hour long or something.
Yeah, we got into it.
Yeah, we did get into it. So what have you been up to? Let's dive in. Like, so what have you been doing? I mean, I know like 6 months is like a lot. Like 2020 feels like a freaking lifetime. But like, what's new with you? What's going on with you?
Well,
you're like Chromatica.
Right, obviously. Chromatica, Lady Gaga, obviously, stream rain on me.
Keep it number 1.
I haven't honestly been doing anything because before the pandemic and quarantine initiated, I was working at Dave & Buster's, selling people power cards and chicken wings. And then quarantine happened, and honestly, I've just been kind of just tagging along with you to little adventures to like Nick's and shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heading to that plant collection.
Yes, that too. Yeah. My children have grown.
Aww.
When I first moved back in with my mother, I only had about like 7 to 10 plants. Now I have 30.
Nice.
So it has jumped significantly.
Yeah, because I always text this bitch. I'm like, bitch, I'm going to Nick's. You want to come? I know you're not doing anything else.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm laying in bed looking at Gaga videos. Waiting for Chromatica, dry, thirsty, just waiting.
Yeah.
And then I created my first terrarium. If you go to my Instagram, you can see that. I'll be posting updates because it's been a minute. Jillian called me out on that earlier. So.
I want to see it. Apparently they've grown. She's got this whole like atmosphere going with the tinfoil and everything. Like, I need the tips. I need to know how you're making it happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So other than that, just growing my plant collection, watching the whole world shift, and protecting myself and my energy, and just being a recluse. That's it.
Well, I really would love to talk about how you identify. It is Pride Month, and whatever, you feel comfortable talking about, but how do you identify?
Honestly, from an astrology standpoint, it's just, I'd like to say I don't believe in gender at all, just because we are just, like, we're the brain and the reproductive system part of the same body, so it's always connected no matter what you are, cisgender, whatever.
Totally.
I honestly don't give a fuck. I just don't care. I'm just like, I just want to drink boba.
Yeah.
And listen to Chromatica and us enjoy life. Smoke some weed, smoke a blunt, hit a bong. Like, just enjoy life. Like, why can't we just do that? Like, who cares? Like, come on. But I don't really identify with any kind of thing having to do with gender, but to put it on a more, so that people are more comfortable, that can understand it more, I just say transgender. Because, it is both. We do have the physical and we have the other, So since I emulate more, the feminine, but I do physically in the other one, it's... Yeah. So I just do trans. I'm like, okay, if you don't understand, that's what it is.
Yeah, right.
Just trans with that.
Right. But so you identify more with, like, are your preferred pronouns are she, her?
Yes.
Okay, but I know, like, when we worked together at Sephora, if people, like, misgendered you, they were like, you were just like, I don't fucking care, you call me whatever you want.
I'm trying to sell you this expensive-ass moisturizer so that I can get a bonus. I don't care what...
care what you call me.
I'm an artist.
You wouldn't understand it anyway. Metaphysical, spiritual.
At work, I kind of let my boundaries down just a little bit because you do interact with people you've never met before that don't know who you are, that don't know what you've been through, vice versa. Yeah. So I just am a little bit more open-minded when I'm in the public.
That's good, though. I think that having that patience with people who, like, are not, I guess, like, educated or, like, have taken the time to educate themselves. Like, you're not going to teach somebody in 5 minutes. Oh, no. You know what I mean?
This takes years.
Or expend that energy every day to try to educate everybody that comes in.
And if people want to do that, like, that is on you, and you can be that person, then that's great. And then there's some people who just don't want to have that energy, like you said, and just explain it every time. So, yeah. So she, her, yeah.
Yeah, she, her. If you say he, I'm like, you know what, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a fuck. I got teal hair. I've always wanted it.
Yes, this mane.
Yes. Not at the moment. It's in a ponytail, but...
Yes. You know. Come on, Ari. Right? Ariana Grande, stream rain on me.
She's part of the Cancerian family,
So what is, like, your background then? Like, when did you have this, like, moment where you're like, I identify more with that feminine side of yourself?
Well, I probably around the age of 4, honestly. Wow, I was very aware at a very, very young age.
Yeah, that's very young.
And I'm sure we all were, honestly. I'm sure we can remember things when we were like 3, 4 years old. Yeah. It's like, how can I still remember that? Well, it's amazing, isn't it? Being an indigo child. But I knew about when I was about 4 years old, and I used to play dress up. I'm sure we all did with our siblings and etc. and all that. So the more I just kept dressing kind of like that, it was just an epiphany moment, or like kind of like an awakening moment at a very young age when your brain is still developing. Right. It is a sponge at that point. So and then as I got older, got to about, like late middle school, high school, I started doing drag. That's, I thought I knew I was male growing up as a boy, but I was like, oh, let me just do drag because I'm obsessed with color, makeup, art, etc. And I'm like, I want to do it on my face. And then this bitch Lady Gaga came out, and then she inspired me to do eyeliner. Like, she was my inspo for eyeliner,
which looks so good,
right? She is how I got to be able to do eyeliner so well. Obviously she didn't do it herself, she has her makeup artist,
but the look of it,
so artistry, so I started doing drag. And then as I started getting older, around I would say 15, 16, 17, 18, around those eras, as like the hormones started kicking in as you're getting older, being though that I am male, just like as I was getting older, that wasn't going away.
That's so
interesting. Like, I'm not, I know when a woman is beautiful, but I'm not sexually attracted to women. Right. And as I was getting older, going through everything, that still wasn't going away. Right. It wasn't like a phase. It wasn't like by the time Bradley's like, because that is my legal name, Bradley, in this disgusting system. What people would say is like, oh, Bradley's getting older. As he matures, he's probably going to grow out of that, and he's going to be a man. It's like, no, it didn't go away. I'm going to be 25 this year, and it hasn't.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah, but it's so important because, like, you've known for over 20 years, and that's like really common. Most people know around 3, 4, 5 exactly how they identify and how they feel.
I don't know what it is like. With humans in general and human development, it's just like around 4 years old, the gland in the body, the pituitary, which controls your hormonal growth, disperses that chemical. Around 3, 4 years old, it just like activates somehow. Yeah. And it's just like you're automatically just aware at that young, and that's just for us. That's our generation.
Yeah, so it's true though, and it's important to give kids that space. A lot of people are like, oh, they're too young, or it is just a phase. Honey. And it's like, no, they know. Like, we let them experiment. Age.
Like, we wanted to know everything. You're like, you don't need to be knowing that. Like, our parents would be like, no, you don't need to know that. You're 5. I'm like, I want to.
Yeah, and it suppresses that when they do that. It suppresses it, and it makes it, like, has that guilt.
Yeah, like, I don't want you to know what that is. That you're, like, 7. You don't need to be knowing what other people do to reproduce. Like, but, honey, I'm part of this Pluto and Scorpio generation, which is sex-driven. So I need to know what that shit is at a young age. Yeah. Because our parents' generation was not.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to get into that a little bit, though. So, like, we're the Scorpio generation. What does that mean?
we are the ones who pretty much fought the Revolutionary War. We're back. And I said this, I think, in our first episode.
Yeah, I think we touched on it
just a little bit. The last time Pluto was transiting Capricorn was during the Revolutionary War.
Right.
But the people who were fighting it were born 20, 30 years ago prior to this war.
Right.
So that was when Pluto was in Scorpio. So the people who pretty much fought in the war was us.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We are back.
Yeah, so we're that generation that is fighting for
equality.
Basically a revolutionary change at this point. Revolutionary change. Yeah, absolutely. That's so amazing. So I love talking astrology with you. It's like you are just so knowledgeable. And first of all, thank you. I really appreciate you sharing. I know you and I have talked about it a little bit, but not a whole lot. We've touched on it in the past.
We're open, bitch.
Yeah. But
when I started working with you, I'm like, I can be open with this bitch.
Yeah, and you were open with a lot of us at work too. I feel like you really were open with people and very patient, and you were willing to educate and help. And I
became so comfortable with myself at a very young age that some are unfortunately not, feel that way yet until they're way later in life, till they're 40, 50.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was just blessed to have that feeling at a young age so that I can share it with other people.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to feel gross in your skin, feeling you're just, you're you don't want to be in this body, and just, I get it. I so relate. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's why I want to share with everybody else, because now I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We want to say thank you for sharing.
I appreciate it.
Definitely thank you for sharing that, because that's a very vulnerable and close to the heart thing and hard to talk about. So we appreciate you wanting to talk about it.
Absolutely.
But let's kind of shift. And like I said, astrology is so fun to talk to you about. This bitch drops knowledge bombs on me all the time, and I'm just what? Oh, what? It's so cool.
You might want to take a hit off your bomb.
Take a hit. Let's expand the mind. So let's talk. So last time we talked a lot about we talked about birth charts. We talked about the different meanings of the planets. We talked a little bit of the characteristic traits of each sign.
We did.
So let's think of it more like astrology 102 a little bit, right?
Yeah, we're taking it up a notch.
Yes. So I would love to talk about the different categories that the planets and the signs fall into. So that's the elements, rulerships, and what else? The houses. Right?
The characteristics they have, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about elements, because we all know what an element is. There's fire, water, air, and earth. Yes. The main elements, what make up our planet.
Yeah.
So what ones fall into each element? So let's start with fire.
Right.
So which ones fall into fire?
So you have 3 fire signs.
Yes.
Which are obviously Aries, Leo, Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Aries is ruled by Mars, so Mars would be a fire planet. Mm-hmm. That's where all that drive and passion comes from.
Yeah.
That's why Aries are very, very forward-speaking, individualist people. Fire people are very good activists.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Very good activists.
Yep.
So, example, Gaga, Aries. It's the child sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac.
Yeah.
The very first one is when we go from winter into spring. It's a rebirth. Life happens. Beautiful. I talked about this in the first episode too. Go to that one. So then you have Leo. There's another fire sign that is the adult fire sign, the fixed one. Aries being cardinal, so it's the more passive, from the heart. I don't know how else to explain that. So then when you go to Leo, it's fixed, so it's non-changing, stubborn, don't want to move.
Right.
Set in their ways.
Right.
Is ruled by the sun, so the sun obviously is fire.
Yeah.
And then you have Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. That is the older fire sign, the more one that's full of wisdom.
Yeah.
So you have the child fire sign, you have the adult fire sign, and then you have the old one.
Okay.
So those are the 3 ones.
Yeah.
And that's mutable fire.
And that's... Okay. Sagittarius is mutable. The mutable sign. Yeah. Okay, and we'll talk about mutables, cardinals, and
those in a minute.
Fixed in a minute. Let's talk about elements. So then it moves to Earth afterwards.
Yeah, so Mars, Jupiter, and the Sun, fire.
Okay.
So then now we're on Earth.
I'm in there somewhere.
Yeah. We get to you, girl. You next.
You next.
And I'm next too, girl. We both Earth.
Oh my God, Earth, yes. So we have the first Earth sign, Taurus. Beautiful Taurosian people. Having just their face structure is so beautiful. So they're the fixed Earth sign. The stubborn, unchanging, fixed in their ways Earth sign.
The mountain.
The mountain. Can't move it. And they are ruled by the planet Venus of beauty. So Venus is an Earth planet.
Venus.
Put your V cards up. So then you move on. So that's the child Earth sign.
Yes.
And then you move to Virgo, which is the next Earth sign. That is the adult Earth sign. And that is ruled by Mercury. That is the hermaphrodite planet. Which is both male and female.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about when we get to Gemini soon. But so Mercury is an Earth planet and an air planet at the same time.
Right.
But I'll explain that in a minute. And then you go to the old Earth sign, which is Capricorn.
Hey, bitch.
Old, ancient, crusty dirt.
Hey, whoa. I am not old, ancient, crusty, and dirt.
Shots fired.
Damn.
Yeah, ruled by Father Daddy Saturn.
That's right, Saturn, baby.
Saturn.
Put a
Saturn
ring
is
on
an
it.
Earth planet. So you have Venus, you have Mercury, and you have Saturn as the primary Earth planets in the solar system.
Cool.
Okay.
Right there. Now we're on water.
Water, yep. And it's Gemmies. No, not Gemmies.
I mean, you can make a couple guesses, like Aquarius and Pisces.
What's the first? Because we did the first. What's the first water sign of the zodiac calendar? It's Cardinal as well.
I'm having the worst brain fart. I know what it is too.
It's after Gemini.
It's Cancer.
Yeah.
So wait, then it would be air then.
No, yes, Gemini's air. We're not on air yet, bitch. But you are right. That is how it would go. So we'll go Gemini next as the first air sign. So yeah, we'll wait till water. We'll go to
We'll do air.
It is going in order.
Oh yeah. That's why I was confused. I'm wait a minute.
You're right. Edit that out. So we're moving on to Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini.
Air.
Gemini is air. Okay.
She is ruled by, or the twins, both of them are ruled by Mercury as well as with Virgo. So that's why it's a duality. It's an air and earth planet.
Okay.
Ruled by communication, etc., whatever. And then you move to the child air sign. And then you move to the adult air sign, Libra.
Yes.
Another Venus ruling planet. So that is, Venus is an earth and air planet as well. Remember? And then we move to Aquarius, which is the old ass air sign.
Right.
Fixed. So Gemini's mutable, Libra's cardinal, and then you have Aquarius, which is the fixed one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Aquarius is ruled by, Libra is ruled by Venus, and then Aquarius, I'm sorry, I'm a little high. So, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So those ones are the air planets, pretty much. Right. So Mercury, Venus, and Uranus are the air planets.
Okay.
People would be confused because you're like, but Jupiter's a gas planet, Saturn's a gas planet, all these are gas. Why would they be earthy planets?
Aren't they all gas?
Right, exactly. No,
yeah.
But that's what people would think, but no, not the case. So, and then we have the water, so we go Cancer. I'm just going to go through them. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces.
Yeah.
So we go Cardinal, Fixed, Mutable.
And aren't those ruled by the more outer planets?
So Cancer's ruled by the moon.
Okay, which is the
very important. The closest celestial body to us.
Right. Scorpio moon here. No Scorpio moon. Yeah.
And then we Scorpio's ruled by Pluto, the underworld, all the way out in that bitch. And then we have Pisces, the water sign, which is ruled by Neptune, the subconscious, the fantasy realm.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So they all have these elements. So there's 3 signs per element, and 4 elements, which makes up the 12 signs. Okay.
Math bitch.
So then for each one that's in the element, you mentioned the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. So cardinal is when it's the change in the time of year, right?
What do you mean?
So, like, for when it's changing from the seasons, right?
Yeah, so most of the equinoxes and solstices happen in cardinal seasons.
Yeah. So that's, like, why, like, cardinal signs typically are the shakers, breakers, earthquakers, the ones who start shit, begin it, but, like, maybe have a hard time finishing stuff.
That's okay, no, that's fine. No, that's all
They'll
right.
start shit, but they gotta, like, take it to the end.
And are these usually, like, the childlike signs within the element, then? Yeah, right? That's the cardinal, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cute.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they start.
And then you have the fixed signs, which are the ones, like I said, are the stubborn, the non-changing, the ones that are set in their ways. They don't want to move. They don't want change. They are more on the less the ones that like being part of a system, a routine.
Right, yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And then we have mutable, which are the people who love change.
Yes.
Look
forward to change.
They love seeing revolutions happen. They love being outward spoken. They're amazing. And they have one of the best bone structures under fixed.
Okay.
So.
Fun. So then, okay, so Capricorn. So I'm a Capricorn, so I'm an Earth cardinal sign. So I was born December 22nd, so that was, like, right after, like, the seasons changed from fall to winter.
Right.
So I am...
You were a day after the winter solstice.
That's fucking right. So, cardinal Earth, and then Jillian is a Taurus, and so she is a Earth mutable. Fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Again, the mountain. That's right.
Yeah.
The mountain, the bowl, yes.
Characteristics of them aren't necessarily negative. That is just, like, the nature. It's like if you didn't have a brain and you were mostly in a, like, primitive state of being, you'd be more associated with those traits being more of a negative thing. But because you are sentient, you're able to develop those characteristics in a more ethical, resourceful way.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fun.
Yeah.
So then, this is like, I am still learning about houses. Houses are, like, really confusing to me. Because there's, like, 12 houses. No.
Yeah, so
12 houses, yeah.
The houses are pretty much, this is where geometry comes in. If it's a full...
Get out your textbooks, y'all!
It's a full... We have a full 360 degrees.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, hitting the mic. Sorry, people who have headphones on. So it's literally 360. You know, what we see in the sky is like 50 degrees, 60 degrees.
Right, yeah.
We have a full 360 degrees.
Yeah.
That we're not, like, we have, like, all these degrees we're not seeing right now.
Yeah.
So, because we're rotating, we're on a spherical Earth.
It's round, not flat.
Right. So, all signs are broken up in 30 degrees.
Okay,
so that's why when you see planets are like, oh my god, it's in 28 degrees, you know, after the 29th degree, it'll go into the next sign because it has passed through it all already.
Okay.
So, everything's split up in 30 degrees, and in those 30 degrees, so one being the house of Aries, so on the whole 30 degrees of Aries, that's the first house. Then you have the second house, the house of Taurus, 30 degrees, and then it's through the whole signs.
Right. Okay.
So the 12th house being Pisces.
Right. Okay.
So that's what it is. So if you were born with example me, I was born a Cancer. My son's in Cancer, but my son's in the 6th house. What is that? What's the 6th zodiac sign?
It's not Leo.
Right after Leo.
It's not Virgo. Yeah. It's Virgo.
It's Virgo. Yeah. So my house is in the 6th house. Or my son is in the 6th house of Virgo because of the time I was born at.
Right.
So the houses it's like a clock. And it's how things turn. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like having to, like, look, like...
It's like two calendars, like, moving together, and it's just... it's a lot. So my sun, Mercury, and Venus were all conjunct in Cancer, so meaning my Venus, or my Mercury and Venus are also in the 6th house. So it's hold on.
Yeah. Say that again.
So my sun, Mercury, and Venus are in Cancer, so they're conjunct together in the sky with each other.
Okay.
Like, not completely together, but they're close to each other.
So they're in that 6th house as well.
Right.
Where, when you were born, they were in that 6th house.
Hi, Mr. Mailman.
Hi,
had an ominous figure walk by the window. So that's what I mean. So like so the sun rises at about 6:30 in the morning. So if I was born at 6:30 in the morning, my sun would be in the house of Cancer, because it's in the sun, like the sun's in the constellation Cancer. So because I was born at 9 p.m., just rotate that all the way. The sun is all the way in like the 6th house of Virgo. So it's like, like you, what time are you born?
I don't remember.
Because you're
I'm a Leo.
Leo ascendant. So yeah, so you're born almost at like midnight,
something like that. Yeah,
towards midnight. Yeah,
like something around like 9 or 10, I think. Close to it.
So your sun is in Capricorn, but because you were born at see, that's what I mean. I have to get it out.
Get it out.
Technical difficulties, people. So
let's double check the facts here.
Yeah, I gotta look at my CoStar. CoStar is a great resource, by the way.
I love it. But yeah, that's kind of what kind of houses are. So like my moon's in Taurus, and the house of Taurus is in the 2nd house.
But it says right here.
And I'll explain those in a little bit. Oh,
okay.
Thank you. Your sun is in the 1st house. Oh, your ascendant's in the 1st house. Sorry, right here, 5th house. So your sun is in the 5th house. So it's in the house of Cancer.
Okay.
All that Capricorn, all these conjunctions right here in Capricorn are all in the 5th house,
which is Cancer. So it's like okay. So
what does it mean? Like, how does it affect?
Yeah. So
right,
like
exactly.
If you have the traits, so like if I have all this Capricorn in my Sun, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, but some of them fall into that 5th house, which is Cancer. So I take on these traits that are affected with Capricorn in these planets.
Mm-hmm.
But how does the 5th house of being Cancer, how does that affect my Capricorn?
Yeah. Right.
Right now.
Yes, bitch. I heard your long ass question. Like, let me respond.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. So.
Take another hit.
Here, let's return. Here, I'll just return back to me really quick. So my sun is your vitality. That is all that you are in this lifetime. That is how you go about life. That is what you emulate to other people, etc. Your energy, your soul. So because it's in Cancer, I still give off the traits of being about family, about having a lot of security all the time. I love my security gets in jeopardy. I break down, I cry, whatever. I'm very emotional naturally, etc. I'm very intuitive, whatever. So it being in the house of Virgo is the servant. I love customer service. I love helping people in general. So Virgo is a very humanitarian servant. It's a human sign.
Right.
So it goes into more so I love family, but I also love people. I love serving people. I love spending my money on people that I don't know. I love being of service a lot of the time. So you having your Sun, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, all that shit. So let's just do Sun, Mercury, and Venus, like that being your inner.
Okay.
Being in the house of Cancer, you still have the traits of Capricorn, which is very, not in a bad way, capricious, goes by the rule book, is very, very disciplined. You still have Cancer, which is a very, very family-based. You love your family to death. At the same time, you're just like, because that's where Capricorn comes in. That's, you still give off those intuitive, watery, nurturing traits that Cancer comes off as.
Yeah.
As your sun, you communicate. It's in the house 5, so you communicate with your emotions when you speak. That's why you are a very great activist, bitch. Because you have a Mercury in Capricorn, which is very powerful, but you have it also in the house of Cancer, which is like me. I have house in Cancer. I can fuck a bitch up, breathe in the filth.
That's right.
So having that in Cancer, it's like, it's double bitch. How you read people to filth when I was working with you, I'm like, goddamn.
Listen, you need the face wash. I was trying to help you.
Yeah, it's a good placements to have, so that's how it affects you, too.
Got it. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense with the houses, so it does affect each other, so, okay.
You have, characteristics, but it, describes your characteristics, like, how they actually...
Right.
And I said this, think of the planets as lenses, because we're on Earth, we're in a huge lens anyway, that's why when you see the sun and the moon, closer to the horizons, they look larger.
Right.
Because we're in a lens, it stretches the light, so it stretches the image in general.
Right.
Can't happen on a flat Earth.
We're very anti-flat.
Think of them as lenses, so as every single planet is going through each individual zodiac sign in the sky through the ecliptic, that line they all follow, because we're on a disc.
Right.
Don't forget that.
Right.
And then also, too, the planets don't give off their own light. They're reflecting our sun's light. So you can see our sun's light being reflected from an object that's 600 million miles away, traveling back at us and hitting us.
Right.
Because it's light. Particles will travel forever.
Right.
The speed of light. So when they're going through each individual sign, they're magnifying the characteristics of what's in that sign.
Gotcha.
Because it's coming from deep space, bitch. Like, this is intention from deep-ass space, creating humans and giving them personalities and characteristics.
Right, and I love that you say intention, too. Yeah. Like, there is an intention from them that is affecting us. Totally.
So, like, if you are a Scorpio Sagittarius, you came straight from the center of the Milky Way. Because the arrow on Sagittarius, and it's so weird how they formed like that. Mm-hmm. Love the universe.
Yeah.
If you look at Sagittarius, at the corner or at the tip of his arrow is the actual galactic center of the Milky Way.
Mm.
So, like, right behind it, obviously. That's why we all need to go out into a field where there's no light pollution so that you can see our beautiful Milky Way.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, you can see it.
And you can see a Scorpio and Sagittarius run through the center of the Milky Way.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who is the person who's holding the arrow again in
Sagittarius?
Is it just Sagittarius?
Yeah. Just
okay.
One arrow holding bitch.
They just need one arrow to get it done?
And you can see Scorpio, you can see the tail, you can see the stinger. It's all like in the
center.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I mean. Just like they're all magnets.
Field trip one day.
I know. Let's go on a stargazing trip.
Yeah, stargazing trip one night.
Stop.
Let's go.
Stop.
That'd be fun to do. Is like get like an event. Obviously, when things like calm down and whatever. But like later down the road, it'd be fun to like have like a giant event with people, and we can all go stargazing with Ella.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can teach us.
Absolutely.
Guide us.
Teach us.
Because like right now, see the sun is up. The sun is in Gemini still.
Yeah.
So it's because of equatorial slippage. Again, the last 1,000 years have made everything look like they're almost a zodiac sign behind.
Right.
So wherever it is now, so the sun looks like it's in Gemini, but looks like it's hitting the beginning of it. So it still looks like it's near the Taurus constellation.
Right.
We can't see that bitch anymore because the sun is in front of it.
Right.
Just,
that makes sense.
The heavens are always shifting. It's a circle, so everything will have a cyclical thing and nothing will be different. But it's so spread out that it feels like a lifetime all the time.
Totally.
So.
Okay, so I have a funny, weird question.
Yes.
What signs, so like I'm a Cappy, I'm a female Cappy. I've heard like people are like, I don't get along with male, like, I don't know, like Aquariuses or like whatever. Like, what is that? Is that like, is there some truth to that? And like,
yeah.
You get what I mean though? It's like, or like you're like compatible with this type of person. Like,
honestly,
who am I compatible with?
That when you
who do I need to find?
When you read stuff like that, or just like, I don't like male Capricorns. Female Capricorns, I love them though. Like, there is half and half truth to it. One, it's pseudo, and two, it's just it comes to a point of the pheromones that you give off as those sun signs.
Yeah,
so that's
makes
that's
sense.
all it is. And also too, if you don't like the bitch, you don't like the bitch. You can say you like female Capricorns like opposed to males and everything, but you can hate a Capricorn bitch because of what else they are. So if you had like a Libra moon, I wouldn't be able to deal with your ass.
Why? What's wrong with Libra moons?
They're too flighty. They're too ditzy. They don't know what's going on half the time.
We're gonna have some listeners looking up like their moons, like,
Ella is reading you. Reading is fundamental.
I live with the one. It's a male, so I can't deal. It's a lot.
It's a lie. It's a difficult lens.
It's a cisgendered one that is coherent that they are cisgendered male with a Libra moon. So.
Gotcha.
It's not
great.
a thing for me.
Not great for you.
So
it's a lot to handle.
So honestly, it doesn't really have to matter with the gender part. It's just it's honestly what else you are.
That makes sense. And we talked a lot about that in the last episode about like your whole chart.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more about like the different parts of the charts, you can go listen to that.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the generational planets because I think it's really relevant to today. So it's Uranus, Neptune.
Well, let's start with Saturn because it is in its second rulership, Aquarius.
Oh, yeah,
and it is
so sad it wasn't Capricorn.
I know.
But now it's on Capricorn.
It's going back into Capricorn because it is retrograding.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all better get your shit together.
Y'all better stop
fighting and shit because karma's a bitch. Daddy Capricorn's coming back for just a little longer. But we're going to start with that. It is in Aquarius, so significance of that, having Saturn in Aquarius, all the times it's ever been in Aquarius was a huge technological advancement in health and just technology in general.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, whatever they're about to come out with, whatever's about to happen, whatever we advance with, we'll experience that. So Saturn takes 28 years, 27, 29 years to go back around, no matter what sign it's in, to go back around to it.
Yeah.
So 8 years ago is when the internet was first given to the public, like instead of the military. Like around that time is when it was birthed. It became a mainstream thing. Everybody started using it. The World Wide Web technology.
Okay, the World Wide Web.
And then before that happened too, was in the early 1960s when segregation ended.
Right.
And we were when the United States, or actually I should say the whole world and everything, got to space for the first time.
Right.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And then 69 happened and we went to the moon. But that was technological advancement. So you go back every 27, 28 years when Saturn was in Aquarius and you'll find a technological advancement from humans. So then we go to Uranus, which is now in Taurus. It's fall placement. It's not necessarily, it doesn't like being an fixed Earth. I don't like it. I don't know why. It's an air sign, or an air planet, so I don't really like it. So every time Uranus has been in Taurus, there has been a worldwide event that has shaken every single human. It's traumatizing. And what's going on right now? You know, last time Uranus was in Taurus was the Great Depression and World War II. As it's transiting right now, literally the war is going on right now, World War II and the Great Depression. Prior to that was the 1860s when the Civil War and slavery was ending.
Right.
All that shit, and also pandemics happen. That's also too, going back to Saturn and Aquarius, is you will find pandemics. A little outbreak always happens too. Look what happened.
Interesting.
And, Saturn went into Aquarius March 20th this year, and that's usually where the huge pandemic.
And when did we go into quarantine? What, March 18th or something like that?
Yeah, almost
like that.
Like the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then now we have Neptune and Pisces. That takes 144 years to go around, so that's 144-year intervals. We have Neptune and Pisces. We have all these corruptions, all these riots, all these governments starting to collapse. We're experiencing another collapse. Prior to when Neptune's in Pisces right now, last time it was there, was during also to the end of slavery. And in the Abraham Lincoln era, when everybody was starting to just abolish slavery from themselves. Right. And just that idea. And then you go back again, the fall of the French Empire. That's when that happened. Then we go to Pluto now, too. It's now in Capricorn. Okay, so sorry, we kind of got cut off there. So yeah, we were talking about Pluto and how last time it was in the degrees it was in was during the Revolutionary War and the fall of the French Empire. So yeah, we're just all experiencing this all at one time.
Yeah, so it's all these planets are coming together at the same time for like the first time.
In different signs.
In different signs, but all coming together at the same time. That really hasn't like happened before.
Yeah.
Where like there's been these traumatic events that have happened.
Exactly, to humanity.
Right.
It's a lot of really rough lenses.
Yeah.
On top of each other.
Yeah. So then what can we do? Because that's a lot of like anxiety and again, like mentioning like change. Like change is hard to adapt to, whether it's good or bad change. Right. So what can you do to help yourself be more, I guess, like grounded and calm in it and help with that anxiety part of you.
Right. Yeah. So this is what the quarantine was supposed to give to us, was a chance to cultivate our skills and get back to like that inner child that we had. A lot of people obviously didn't get that. But that's fine. That's totally fine. You know, I was doing a tarot reading last night with my brother, and I pulled a card pretty much saying that everybody needs to find new hobbies and new ways of creation.
Plants.
Yeah. Orchids 2020.
Plants is a great way. Because of this bitch, I was getting a little depressed. I was working at Sephora at the time, but once she introduced me to plants, that's when it kind of just took off, and it just became a hobby that just...
Right.
So the card pretty much was just mean that everybody needs to find something that they loved as a child when they were growing up, because I loved plants as a child, all of them, and that's a good way to ground yourself, because everybody's used to the day-to-day grind, you know, work, home, watch, you know, something on TV to feel relaxed on Netflix, you know, play a video game, take a shower, go to bed, eat, you know, just very mundane things.
Right.
And that's what everybody has been in, so that's why everybody's like, I want life to go back to normal, in quotations. I'm like, no, you don't want to go back to the mundane life. This is an opportunity, a worldwide thing. Like, the universe kind of intervened and was like, stop. Let's do something different now. So this is all happening good for us, for people who are more so not really looking for destruction, more so the ones that are just riding with the change.
Right.
Those people don't get affected by the stuff like this. You know, like the pandemic, the coronavirus, the riots and everything are being tear gassed, and, you know, we are not the ones that would attract that kind of thing. We'll be the ones that are going to be moving forward through this, and the ones that are still kind of stuck in that root energy of survival, the same systematic shit going on, they're going to be left behind. Those are the people that you see getting tear gassed.
Right.
And that are not necessarily there to change or to protest or to want, how do I say it, more of a peaceful revolution. Those are the ones that are there for revenge, because they're that angry. And that's why I didn't really want to go to the protests at the same time, because, like, and I was telling you this, you know, it just depends on the crowds that you're with, like the groups that you're with and everything. You know, I wanted to protect my energy, because a lot of people are protesting out of anger, because you're watching all these videos of these people getting assaulted by police officers, and it's just enraging you more and more and more and more, and that's what social media is doing. You know, so it's just, if you're going to protest, follow the rules. You know, the police are out there to protect you. 99% of them are good people. Just that 1%, that's a lot of people. 1% is a lot of people. That's a lot of police officers that are actually there to cause harm.
Yeah.
And provoke. And antagonize the protesters. So the police are there to protect you at the end of the day, so please follow what they say. Please be out of here by 7 o'clock. Follow those. Be cooperative. And you can go to bed with clear eyes, clean skin, and a mask without going home with bruises and blood and mace in your eyes. So those people will, like I said, going back to that, are going to be left behind. It's unfortunate to say that, but you have the peaceful protesters, and then you have the ones that are not so peaceful. They are taking this opportunity.
Well, I think the people who are, like, not peacefully protesting are people there with their own agenda.
Yes.
Like, people, if you're, like, whether it's peaceful or not, people are definitely there with their own agenda. But we also can't tell people how they can protest. Do you know what I mean? And, like, I think it's up to us as people who are white people to follow the lead of black leaders, black organizers at these protests, to help basically turn the volume up on their voice and be there just to listen and to be a shield. And that's really all we can do as white people if we go to protest.
Be an ally. Protect.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Support.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions? You want to talk about crystals for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, let's talk about crystals a little bit, because I know you brought some with you.
And there's like good ones, so these are like good to like meditate with.
Wonderful ones.
Yeah.
Now the one I'm going to say first is Purple Aura. This one is not necessarily common to get. This is more of in a geode form. So beautiful. This one, you can find it at any metaphysical store. You can ask them, do you have Purple Aura quartz? They might know what it is. This one is just purple, so that resonates with your mind. It helps center yourself, everything around you, blocks out chaos, invites peace and clarity inward. I brought citrine again, but we explained this in a past episode, so go listen to that. I did bring labradorite. Labradorite is a crown stone, so it assimilates with that entry at the crown of your head when you first came and were born. It connects you to the above, your angels, the universe, God, whichever one. And then I brought sodalite, which would resonate with the throat and the third eye, helps you process your thoughts into words better, so that you're more articulate, so you're not stumbling. So it's a good one to bring with the protests. Great one. Okay. And howlite, it just helps with communication, because like I said, people communicate, especially Mercury being in Cancer right now. Everybody's communicating with a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion.
Cancers are an emotional mess.
They are. You see all these people communicating and just start breaking down. A lot of emotion is being vocalized right now with this Mercury. So bring sodalite, howlite. It'll help you articulate better in a more calm place. And then bring a heartstone, like rose quartz and everything, so you can do that. Last one I brought was sardonyx.
Wow.
I love sardonyx.
Heard of that one.
It's a really good Crystal Gems character. Yeah. If anybody watches Steven Universe.
I love sardonyx. She's amazing. It's what was it? Garnet and pearl together?
I think so. Yeah. Are they Alexandrite? No, that's all three of them. I think it is sardonyx.
I want a giant woman.
Sorry. Yes.
Anyway, I love that show. Hi, Steven Universe fans. Anyway, so sardonyx is pretty much, so it's a black stone. And it has little, like, colors of, like, gray, and, like, you can see a little bit right there. This one is a very good grounding stone. This one you can bring to the protest as well. This one helps you be more rooted to the earth. So you can also still process it. It connects you to the earth and the sky at the same time. So you have it's in alignment, so you're not... Protects your aura, too. Because there's a cavity in the heart. It's a very small cavity, probably, like, the size of, like... a little larger than a pea, where it distorts space-time.
Ew.
So, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, I know, but like, ooh.
That's where your own magnetic field is created, where it extends 8 feet out from your body. That's why empaths can feel people that are not even next to them. Like, Like, and then if you're in a crowd, that's when it's worse. You're in 8 feet, you have like 40 people in it.
Right.
So, and you're just, so that little cavity in your heart literally distorts space-time, so it's in that magnetic wave. So that's why people are attracted to you. That's what you attract from what you're feeling, etc. Your brain gives off a different one. It's more of a radio wave. Gotcha. But it's also a magnetic field. It goes about 6 feet instead of the heart, which is 8. So we give off magnetic fields. I talked about this also in the previous episode. So go and listen to
that one.
So yeah.
I did actually do an experiment when I was younger with, like, I don't know if you've ever used those, like, divining sticks. Basically just, like, 2 metal rods. But you can, like, find underwater wells and things like that with them. But you can test people's aura with them. And so you would, like, test it and tell somebody to, like, think of a really sad memory or something that makes them really angry. And you could walk up to them and their aura would be, like, really close to them, really tight and closed off. Yeah. And if you would tell them to think of, like, a happy memory. We were on a trip at the time, so, like, think about the trip and, like, the experiences we were having and things like that. Their aura would expand further out and touch more people. And you could, like, tell with the divining sticks, they would, like, open up further away from the person. Whoa. It was, like, so cool. Oh, that's really cool. But, yeah, auras are definitely a thing. They're very impactful.
I feel like we'd have to have you on again to talk about, I really want to talk about, like, auras and chakras.
Yeah.
More of, like, on a less astronomy, even though they all tie to the planets.
They do.
But more of, like, a metaphysical body.
Yes. Yeah. And, like, meditating and balancing your chakras and, like, what crystals are great for each chakra.
There's I'm sure people listening can't really see it and everything, but if you take these, you do your index finger together and you move them like this together, and you put it down to right under where your wounds would be. It's where the sacral is. That's the creation center of the body. And you massage your fingers, you can actually start creating a little bit of energy, and you can actually feel it, and it gets weird. But you have to be sitting crisscross with your back straight, your spine aligned.
That's cool.
Etc.
I feel my womb doing something.
Oh my god, you're pregnant. I didn't mean to do that.
Room's glowing. I just want to walk out of here.
Yeah. But that is a good meditative practice, especially if you're in a nice quiet room and you're sitting down and you're using that technique and you're interlocking your fingers. That's why we have fingerprints. Those are like our little sensory, obviously it's how you feel and everything. When you rub your fingers together, you're activating little parts of the body. Little tiny ones.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that too. Is like there's different like on your like foot and like reflexology and like hand and how to like help those yeah. I think you need to come back and we talk more about that. Yeah, I think that would be so.
Yeah, girl, we could talk for hours.
Yeah.
I know. That's why you're gonna come back though. Like honestly, like
tune into a special 8-hour edition.
we just like sit here and meditate for 8 hours.
Just, like, and do Gaga's That's so funny. We should do it. But seriously, I'll come back. Anytime.
Yeah, and like you could teach us like some meditation. Like
heck yes, really cool. We could use it.
That's when we
Everybody
should
could use it right now.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I love that idea. I think it's important to like meditate because like there's a lot of people right now like so like Hilton Carter, for instance, he posted about like just remembering to water yourself, and I just like. I love that so much because right now we do need to water ourselves, and because it's a lot of like compounding on our mental health. And yes, like that's hard and we need to be aware of that, but we can't stop because of it.
Yeah, you can't help other people with an empty cup or no spoons, you know?
Or a full cup and no room to add more. Like upgrade, bitch, for 25 cents more. Like, you're at your limit.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want an extra large? Like,
I love having you on. I'm so glad you came back to talk to us.
Yes, where can we find you?
So you can find me, well, I don't have Twitter, so I'm not a tweet. Sorry.
I love Twitter.
I haven't been on Twitter probably since like 2011.
That's honestly. Okay.
But you can find me on Instagram. I'm sure they will put my links in the description, etc. Because when I spell it or say it, it's kind of hard. So just look in the description. You'll see it. I do have a Facebook, but we're not going to get that out. No, seriously, I'm just kidding. And then pretty much all I have is Instagram, which is like my main thing. I do have YouTube, but I haven't posted in 2 years, so maybe soon.
Yeah, let's get some vlogs up.
Yeah, that's cool. And then you can find us on Instagram too at 2 Girls 1 Plant Podcast, and then we have our own planty pages on Instagram as well. You can go follow. We'll link that below. Check us out on our YouTube, Facebook as well. You can follow Jillian's Facebook group, the Colorado Plant Pals, as well. Also, we'll be putting a ton of resources and links to go donate and help and what you can do during this time to voice your opinion and protest in solidarity with Black Lives and Black Lives Matter. So there's a lot. I know we have been talking about it for this last week, and we're going to continue to talk about it until we see justice and until we see change, because the moment we stop talking about it is when another Black person is murdered. So we cannot stop talking about it.
Stop shoving things under the rug. Let's just let's do it this time.
Yep, exactly. Stay on top of it.
Use the universe as it is in right now. Let's do it.
Yep, exactly. So well, thank you guys. Thank you, Ella, for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank everybody for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.